Hey, True Believers, Englentine here, and a topic has popped up. I've seen being talked all over about Twitter. I think just some guy has done a video. I haven't seen it yet because I knew I was going to talk about it, and I figured, what the heck, I'll watch his after I figure out what I want to say about this, and that is that Marvel and DC should get together and do a crossover, and get this, to save the comic book industry. That is that's a lot, by the way. And I've seen it. Oh, it's not going to save the end. It's a bad idea, blah, blah, blah. Let's get this right out of the gate. It's a great idea. I think it's a wonderful, fantastic freaking idea. There are a few caveats here. First of all, it's not going to save the industry. No one thing is going to save the industry, just like no one thing has killed the industry or is going to. And by the way, the industry's not dead and nothing has killed it. You always get that guy. And trust me, I've seen that comment so many times. Comic books are dead because Marvel did Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur. Marvel Comics is dead because they produce that book I don't like. Yeah, whatever. You know what? There's been bad comic books all throughout. Now, granted, I'm an old fart, so I believe the best comic books were back when I started. And a lot of people are the same. One of my friends on the channel says that his favorite is of DC is the New 52. Why? Because that's when he came up. That's what he knows. And that's awesome. That's great for you. You know, you like what you like, and don't let anybody bully you into thinking different, you know? So anyway, I hear this whole thing coming up, and apparently Gail Simone said that it was a good way. I'm looking for the tweet here, but she said, use the hashtag please Marvel and DC. Simone offered the idea of a renewed crossover, including some of her own dream creators, and let's see, she said you could have Vision and Mr. Miracle by Tom King. Okay, I see that, you know, considering he wrote both books, that's not bad. Thor and Wonder Woman by Don Cates. Judging by what he's doing with Thor right now, I think that would be an interesting take. I've never seen his take on Wonder Woman. Let's hear it. The one that, of course, go F yourself, Gail, is Superman and Spider-Man by Brian Michael Bendis. First of all, how about we cross Brian Michael Bendis with the unemployment line? How about that? He is doing nothing good for Superman. But the thing is, I don't think if you ever watch Gail Simone's Twitter feed, mainly she's asking questions. And while I think that this is an interesting idea, I think the main part of this message was, what other crossovers would you like to see in by which creative teams? That was the part I think that she was, just by judging from what I've seen in her Twitter feed. She's always asking certain things, you know, like what's your favorite comic book theme song and all that kind of, or comic book or cartoon, you know what I'm saying, cartoon theme song. Let's see. Simone entreated fans chime in with their own ideas, eliciting dozens of responses naming numerous Marvel and DC creators, characters they'd like to see come together. Venom and Thor. Dottie Cates retweeted with 2021 is the 25th anniversary of Marvel versus DC, DC versus Marvel. If they did something, it would definitely be a big boost to the industry by driving both old and new readers back to the store. Well, you don't know that. And once again, no one thing is going to save it, but it could, you know, of course, get a huge amount of cash. Look, whether you like it or not, and I'm not a fan of having a crossover every 5 freaking seconds, they do bring in money. People go, oh yes, I'm going to be reading that. I don't get it. I haven't had any kind of excitement coming towards this Empire thing that's coming. You know, that I just haven't seen anything about it that's really made me go, ooh, wow, I have to read this. But I do know that, like, last year, for as much as I didn't like it, War of Realms brought in a little bit of extra cash. You know, that's just what happens. So let's see. We have some people saying Secret Crisis by Donny Cates. Okay. JSA Invaders by Jeff Johns and Jerry Ordway. Okay, I could take that, because that Invader storyline, I'm gonna be doing a is it really that good? And wow, yes, by the way, I'm gonna spoil it right here. Daredevil Nightwing by Chip Zdarsky. Okay. Green Lantern Silver Surfer by Grant Morrison. That would be an interesting turn too. There are some interesting concepts. There's some interesting ideas. The big problem, though, is that you're going to get stuff like it would be, let's put She-Hulk and Wonder Woman together, written by Vita Ayala or whatever her name is, and drawn by Riley Rossmo. I've always said it, I'm going to say it again. In this day and age, be careful what you wish for, because you will get it, but it will not be what it looks like. Man, seriously. Sometimes they just really seem to want to screw things up. Runaways and Teen Titans by Rainbow Rowell. I don't even know what that is. I'm just reading some of these things that people are suggesting here. I don't know. Look, we're in a bit of a bind as far as all of this is concerned. You know, the whole comic book industry, once again, it's in trouble, especially now with the whole coronavirus thing going on. Comic book shops are closed up for a while. They're going to be losing some cash. And some people who don't get books during this period are going to think to themselves, you know what? Yeah, I kind of grew out of it anyway. I don't like the direction comic books are going to go in. I'm not going to start picking my new books up anymore. And they're just going to drop out. Some of them without emptying their boxes. I did that before my comic book shut down. I grabbed up a whole bunch of stuff that was still in my box. And I recommend you do the same if you do decide to quit. But there are going to be a lot of people who just aren't going to go back. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Any jumping on point is a great jumping off point as well. And some people aren't going to be taking the journey. So do I think that a Marvel versus DC crossover is a good idea? Hell yeah! Because I know that it will help as far as an influx of cash. It might actually be the cash grab, but you know what? That's what's going to need to happen when they come out. They're going to need to do something right out of the gate that's going to get readers to go, yes, give it to me. Let me get into that. And maybe a Marvel versus DC kind of thing would work. How about a second round? How about a second round doing exactly what they did in the 90s where we vote? I think that it would be actually better now than it was back then. The Marvel vs. DC crossover was an interesting idea, but I remember the arguments. I remember what happened in the comic shops. You would have people like myself who would actually think, well, okay, Superman and Lobo fought, and Lobo really, he went toe-to-toe with Superman, so Lobo's going to knock Wolverine all around the globe, and he's not even going to be affected by anything Wolverine has to throw at him. And then you have the other side, I like Wolverine better, check. And yeah, by the way, if it makes it sound like I'm saying that people who actually thought about it were better than the people who just went, I like her better, click. Yeah, we were. We're better people. That's what I'm saying. We grew up into better people. They're kicking cats. That's what I'm saying right now. No, I just think it's a lot more analytical nowadays, especially with the YouTube things, the actually people and everything. Don't take that whole thing serious. Come on, guys. Get real. But yeah, I think it actually would be an interesting idea. Is it going to save the comic book industry? Not just this. We need a new distributor. Diamond has had a chokehold on everything. We hear that all the time. You need to get Marvel and DC especially back on the continuity train. We make fun of it, as a matter of fact, on our live streams over on I Love Comics, where we're talking about, we got that common enigma. What is it? What's that word that the comic industry has forgotten? It's called continuity. DC, stop rebooting every 3 freaking years. Marvel, I know you're writing for the trades, but at least have them connect. The whole thing, the reason why you get fans like me like my friend Back Issue Breen. The reason why you get people like that, somebody who is so loyal to the character of Spider-Man that they'll sit through bad run after bad run waiting for the next good one, is because the continuity. It's like these, think of these as our soap operas. People have been watching General Hospital for 65,000 years now. You know, and we're willing to stick with you. We're willing to stick with Spider-Man and Batman, all these characters. We will stick with them through good writer and bad just because we've been following them. We know their history and we understand. Sometimes you're going to let some things drop and sometimes and until you need it again. You know, nobody's having Spider-Man tool around in his little dune buggy anymore. But he actually had one at some point. But that's gone all out the window, so you could do these little short 6-issue stories that ultimately mean nothing, because once you're done with it, you're on to the next 6-issue story. And you don't care about what came before. Frickin' hell. In what I call Marvel's best book is Daredevil, you have the Kingpin forgetting the fact that he grew up fighting, and he's kind of rolling over for this new couple who are these new big business. I can't even freaking think of the language. Here I am trying to rant. But point being is, Kingpin should never be beaten down. Kingpin should never be like, I'm mayor now, so I don't know how to fight. No. Never. Ever. Because of how he grew up, because of who he is. And I think that is one of the more important things. So as the comic book industry needs to learn. I think that they need to keep with continuity, that they need to find new distributors, that they start, by the way, respecting the customer as well. I'm not saying do everything that they want. It's kind of weird how people hear one thing and they think it means all of this. It's like with a coronavirus, and you say, don't panic, and then these morons think you're saying ignore. Like, if you ever looked up in the dictionary under don't panic, it said ignore. You're a freaking moron. And people who hear, you know, respect customers mean do everything they say, you're a freaking moron if that's how you're taking it. But yeah, respect the customers, get a new distributor, find a new distribution system. Respect the history of the characters. If you jump on a character, read the books. Find out who these people are before you jump in, because a lot of times these writers are writing themselves into the books, and a lot of times they're coming in with messages and they're putting the message before the story. It's horrible when they do that. Oh, man. So anyway, I'm kind of off the rails. I started off talking about a crossover, and I'm ending here. Once again, the crossover is a great idea for cash, and I think it could be fun if you put it in the hands of these dream writers, by the way, which, if you noticed, none of them were the cringe writers. None of them were the message writers. They were the story writers. That's what we want. You really want to save the comic book industry, bring back good stories. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below. And also, click on one of the videos that are popping up around here if you like the content. And don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, ring that notification bell, making sure that all notifications are on for Google and YouTube. If you do like the content, please consider going on over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi. Drop $1 in the till and helps keep the lights on. Helps keep making videos for you. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.